Taibbi's Hunter Biden Twitter expose is a bust, and it ought to go down in flames. This is Matt Robeson on Blue Amp, Amplifying Good. There are 3 things to know about this. First, this story is absolutely dripping in bull. Remember that from the beginning, responsible media sources did not want to touch this. Actually, irresponsible right-wing propaganda outlets didn't want to touch the story either. Fox News turned it down. So, knowing that our elections had been manipulated by Russia and hackers in 2016, Twitter restricted posts about the story. Now that Elon Musk is in charge, a whole trove of internal company emails magically showed up in gadfly Matt Taibbi's inbox. He won't say who they're from. Let's just say Elon M. No, wait, that gives away too much. Musk. Now remember, this is a story that was BS to begin with. What Taibbi does is turn it into BS on roids by adding distortions and lies that are so obvious that any editor in America would have laughed them out of the room. Here's one example. The head of public policy for Twitter receives a ghastly letter report from Carl Szabo of the research firm NetChoice, which had polled 12 members of Congress, 9 Republicans and 3 Democrats. Let's delouse that statement. NetChoice didn't meet with 12 members of Congress. They met with 9 Republican and 3 Democratic staffers. If Taibbi worked for any real publication, he'd be fired for blatantly distorting basic facts. By the way, NetChoice is not a research firm, and despite appearances, Carl Szabo is not a James Bond villain. Or maybe he is, because NetChoice is a branch of the Federalist Society, the right-wing judicial activist group. The point is, Taibbi's thread is riddled with these kinds of outright lies and gross distortions. Just one more example. Taibbi goes nuts because the Biden campaign asks for certain links to be taken down. The fact that Twitter did so caused Elon to also lose his mind and call it a violation of the First Amendment. As a former campaign manager, I can tell you that both Republican and Democratic campaigns ask for distorted or offensive content to be taken down by radio stations, TV stations, and yes, social media companies all the time, like in every single ad that their opponents put up. And what were those links that the Biden campaign wanted taken down? Basically, pictures of Hunter Biden naked. I could go into more detail, but I'm on a family-friendly video platform here. And that gets me to point number 2. Throwing out so much garbage that's so obviously false is a feature, not a bug. This is how disinformation works. You give a mix of true statements, minor distortions, and outright lies. And by the time your audience is done sorting through the garbage, they're so confused that all that registers with them is your original lie. This is why studies show that fact-checking often doesn't work. That's also why the disinformation playbook became the Trump Fox News playbook. Saying something outrageous or clearly wrong sucks your opponents in. It becomes really hard not to respond when they're saying the sky is red. But the thing is, it's a trap. Just remember, you never want to get into an argument with an idiot because onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. And that gets to point number 3. What do we do about it? I'm not willing to give up on the truth. And the good news is we don't have to. That's why I devoted the first part of this video to exposing some of the lies going on here. That's part of the formula, to call a lie a lie. But it also requires asking ourselves who we're fighting here and what it is that our opponents actually want. As much as Elon Musk comes across as an arch villain and Matt Taibbi comes across as his willing pawn, they're not the ultimate enemy here. Our opponent is the right wing that's trying to distract us from their insanity, their takeover of the courts to force regressive social policy out of the 1700s on us, and the criminality of their chosen one, Donald Trump. They want us talking about the particulars of this story and not the fact that Donald Trump is under 9 separate legal investigations and that right-wing zealots are on the inside of the Supreme Court. So don't get distracted and stay on target.